I have a flyer design I recently made for a client, and I didn't think of making a video then. So today the video will be a very short one. I'll just be revealing my layers, and I'll be sharing some tips on how I achieved some of these layers and effects. So yes, let's dive into it. So I have my background, which is this, the one you will see when you open Photoshop. I used 1080, then height 1350, and I named it. I made sure it was RGB. Make sure the background content, you can just select white. White is the most common. Then do not color manage, and I hit OK. And after that, I have this canvas now. So the next thing to do is create a background. So that's what I did here. I brought my texture. Let me increase the opacity so you can see it was like this. You can get the texture from Texture Lab or any texture website. So let me just Ctrl Z. So here's my texture. You can see the grains and the effect it has, and here's my background. Actually, the theme I had in mind for this design, since their brand color is some kind of purple, dark purple and yellow, so I introduced a light purple, dark purple to the theme. So yes, I have a very soft. Let me increase the opacity. Okay, I think let me disable this. So here's what I did. So let me delete and show you what I did. Here's what I did. I created, let me copy, yes, good. When you create a solid color, you have this. So you select a color, then you come here as we used to do it, Ctrl I to invert, and your brush. When you have your brush, make sure your foreground color is white. You see, if it's not white, you press this and it will toggle back to white. So when you have white, that means everywhere you drag and click, you reveal this color. So yes, let's try that. So here's what I did. I revealed this part, I left the other parts. I don't want everything to be this color. So yeah, so the next thing is to bring in my models. So yeah, sorry about this. Let's pick them one after the other. So yes, this I cropped them out one by one actually, so it wasn't really an easy thing to do. I did it one by one. So here's the first man. So this one is actually some kind of a PNG. It's a ribbon like something. It has a different color. I was going to change the color from its original color by using hue and saturation. So you can do hue and saturation. You hold on Alt or press this to clip it to that particular layer. Then you can change your color from here to whatever you want. So that's how I changed the color to this. So I have this, then this person, then this is actually a curve adjustment that I made for the person to show more brightness on his face. So yeah, and I have my models complete here. So the next thing I did was to bring, what do I have here? Nothing. The next thing I did was to bring my other rectangle. So I've actually forgotten the process, or it was kind of fast, so yeah. So I made this, this was the original rectangle, this one. So I made another color layer on top of it, and I added my theme, the purple. So I used the same process we used by taking your brush, make sure you are on the mask, and make sure your foreground color is set to white. So wherever you paint or dab, you reveal that color, you reveal this color. So that's what I did to reveal these parts and this part. So on to the next, the contacts. Yeah, everything here. Then this, yes. So actually I made this and I added a lot of noise, you can see, to give me that effect I want, to match the background. We are working with a very grungy background, so I need something to like match that effect on the foreground. So that's what I did here. So where is it? Okay, that's what I did. I added noise by going here, go to filter, go to noise, add noise. Then you can set the amount of noise, make sure it's on Gaussian and monochrome. So yes, that's what I did. Then the names, okay, I actually made something behind the names. So these are the names. Actually, this is not a very step-by-step tutorial, it's just like a layers review. So in future designs I'll try and make full tutorial for my flyers. So yeah, so I have this. How did I make this? It was a gradient. So when you draw a shape, you can go to gradient, overlay, set the angle right, and change your colors. So if I change this color to this, and I change the middle color to another color entirely, and this to another color, so I want to make sure this is on 50%. So you watch as it changes, so make sure it's on 50%. So now what I'll do is increase the scale like this and reduce the opacity. You see, so I would add a stroke of pure white to show the edges, and that's it. That's how I achieved this rectangle. So I duplicated the rectangle and change the color to this and this to give me this background effect. So moving on to the next, yes, this host. You can make these shapes by creating a rectangle. You can create one, yes, increase the fill to 0. I should use the fill to 0, and the stroke, that's what I did. The stroke, I reduced the fill totally for the outer shape. And this is what I did for the second one. I duplicated this by pressing Ctrl J and Ctrl T to show transform. So I reduced the size of this, and you can either do this or do this. Now how would you do that? Hold on Ctrl and drag, but you see it's not going in a straight line, so you hold on Ctrl and Shift at the same time, then you drag, or you hold on Ctrl and Shift and then you drag. That's how I have this one right here. So when you do that, you have something like this. When you fill the when you fill your other, so you have something like this. You can then reduce its own stroke. So yes, that's how I made the. And if you need the font I used here is Nexa Slab Trial. Nexa Slab. So that's what I used here. So what's next? Okay, moving on to the next. Yeah, I think this guy. Then this is quite simple. So I've had a lot of questions of how I make these gradients. Now it's simple. When you go to my gradient overlay, it's just a process as the other one. Set this color to 1. Let's change it to red. Let's try red. Change it to a deep red. Then the other one, select that first color again. Then this middle one, give it, did you see that? Then you give it a stroke. Make sure your stroke is just 1 or 2. Then the color to perfect white, and there you have it. Yeah, so that's how most of these gradients are made. Also for the jokes and the other text and the rectangle. So yeah, I think we are done with that. What else? Okay, I think I have the stars and the effects. Now this effect, you can download this too. This effect, this one. Where is it? Okay, you can download this too on Texture Labs. It's even there. Texture Labs Lens FX. So you can get that on Texture Lab, and also this light effect here, this one. So I reduced the saturation, so it won't be too much. That's what I did, since we are not really working with too sunny color. So overall I added noise. I have 2 noise. I play with 2 sometimes to see which one I would use. They have different percentages, so I think I chose this for the overall noise. So to make this kind of noise, you can go to edit, first create another layer. Make sure you have a free layer. You go to edit, you go to fill, and you choose 50% gray. You click on OK, and you go to filter, noise. You give it your noise 4 or 5, and you come to the blending mode and give it overlay. You see, so that's how I make my noise. Or you create a solid color, give it 50% gray. And what's the X code for 50% gray? 808080. Then you do the same process, noise, okay, then overlay. That solves it. So here's my overall design, guys. Thank you for subscribing, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe now to get follow-ups on more videos.